φιλοξενούμενοι. 22 παιδιά από 4 σχολεία και 9 καθηγητές στο πλαίσιο του προγράμματος Erasmus. Θα παρακολουθήσετε τώρα την εργασία αυτών των παιδιών πάνω σε 2 θεματικές ενότητες, Ολυμπιακούς Αγώνες και Δημοκρατία.
So excited, and at the same time, mixed feelings. We are probably sad and happy. Sad because we're leaving. Happy because we had a great week. Was that right? Yeah. I think everybody was excited. And it wasn't just the excitement, this was an educational process at the same time. And from what I've seen, and probably all the teachers have seen already, the teams have collaborated to create some amazing products together, which we're going to watch all together here. We're going to first start with the Olympics, the team with the Olympics Games, and they're going to have 2 presentations for us, a small simulation, like a role play, and a leaflet. They have prepared a leaflet as well.
Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Lisa. This is Debbie, Fabio, Hadi, and Gabriele. And we worked on the Olympic Games project. So today, our goal is to broaden your knowledge as regards the largest festival and as regards sports, and that's the Olympic Games. As we know, the Olympic Games are an athletic festival that originated in ancient Greece and were revived in the late 19th century. They are the world's foremost sports competition and include athletes from all over the world.
The fundamental values promoted by the Olympics. The 3 values of Olympics are excellence, friendship, and respect. Olympics seeks to create a way of life based on the value of effort. The spiritual level of good example, social responsibility, and respect for universal fundamental ethical principles. The games are also an opportunity to promote peace, now then with the tradition of the Olympic Rules of Kenya. The Olympic values. Behind and within the competition between athletes, the set of Olympic values is presented again.
On the middle day of the festival, a vast number of were slaughtered in honor of Zeus, king of the Greek gods. Once he had been given a small taste, the rest was for the people. At the ancient Olympics, the only prize was the crown of all his leaves. What counted most of all was the fame and supreme glory of becoming an Olympic victor.
In the year 394 AD, the games were banned by the Emperor Theodosius, who was the first one to take the Deva and Christian.
Now, fast forward to 1896 AD. The 1896 Summer Olympics were the first international Olympic Games held in modern history. The Games were finally war.
Guys, I think before we forgot to important details.
What?
We didn't mention the Asian sports.
Ronnie?
With spinal cord injuries completed. Hero Science, the Summer Paralympic Games have been organized on a 4-year basis alongside the Summer Olympic Games.
The rights of the child. Now, I'm sure you have all heard of them in the past, multiple times. What exactly are they? The main points of the agreements of the rights of the child are, firstly, that all children have the right to be brought up in a loving and affectionate environment where they receive love, affection, and care, while also having the ability to speak their own minds and express themselves. They will part in meaningful conversations. Then another right is the one to access to adequate human needs, such as nutrition, housing, and medical care. Another main point is the right to access to education as well as recreational pursuits. Now, you are all aware of the ongoing pandemic that humanity is currently going through. With vaccinations being a hot topic of conflict among communities. Some even suggest that vaccinations for children should be mandatory. Is there a link between mandatory vaccination and children's rights? Or a violation? Or would this decision rather benefit children? This is what our team will be debating about.
We're all aware of the effects of the vaccine. We are the team who supports the decision of mandatory vaccination for all children across the world. Now, we're all aware of the effects of the vaccine, of any vaccine really. Any vaccine can be seen as a treatment, as a treatment or as a way to stop the quick spread of certain disease, certain virus. Some vaccines even completely eradicated some diseases, some viruses. So we can all agree that vaccines are a very crucial part of our lives, of our medical lives, of our history, of how we came to be. We've seen countries who have high vaccination rates. We've seen how once more people started vaccinating, mass vaccination, the more people started vaccinating, the less quickly the virus spread.
Especially if we are talking about sites. So not all sites are the same. They can have weak immune systems or health issues. So making the vaccine mandatory could be a risk and a problem for them. We also have 3 articles of the Convention on the Rights of the Child that support our arguments. So, Article 3 is a summary of Article 3, the best interest of the child. So the top priority in our decisions should be the best for the child, and that's what we support. So next. Okay, Article 5 says that governments must respect the responsibilities of parents. As parents, they have their own rights and decisions on the life of the child.
Okay, so according to this graphic, we can see that the existence of COVID-19 cases are mostly in adults and
that it should not be mandatory, and instead we should focus on other repercussions of the pandemic, such as the extreme violation of the fundamental right of children to have access to education, especially when it comes to minorities such as refugees and immigrants who were not given the opportunity to take part in school activities throughout the pandemic because of lack of equipment. Thank you.
Από Ρουμανία, Ιταλία, Ισπανία, Πορτογαλία και Ελλάδα φυσικά έχουν συνεργαστεί με διεθνικές ομάδες, δηλαδή από κάθε χώρα. Θα παρουσιάσουμε 2 θέματα που θα παρακολουθήσετε. Το πρώτο αφορά τις επιστήμες και το δεύτερο τις τέχνες. Είναι ένα πολύ καλό παράδειγμα για να δείτε στην πράξη πώς λειτουργεί αυτό που λέμε την ευρωπαϊκή ταυτότητα αφενός και αφετέρου είναι αυτό το πρόγραμμα Erasmus, στο οποίο να είμαστε καλά και του χρόνου, εφόσον είδαμε πόσο ωφέλιμο και χρήσιμο είναι, θα επιδιώξουμε και ένα νέο πρόγραμμα και για εσάς.
But today we're going to represent some scientists and see from their own point of view on our topic. So I'm representing Hippocrates.
I'm representing Ramani Gahar.
Today I get acknowledged. And I'm representing Anastan.
We also had a girl from Italy, Fatima, which will represent Leonardo da Vinci, and a girl from Germany, Nadine, who would represent Albert Einstein, but they couldn't come, so we're going to talk about them, and we're going to represent actually their work. Parascavi to say something.
Okay, so in 2019, a virus appeared in the world and it started to circulate without knowing what it was. So that causes lack of information, lack of knowledge, followed by terror and fear. So today, the science team, we are here to explain what is COVID and to deny fake news or information that they are not at all true.
Here we have the aspects. The pandemic have many aspects, but we will talk about the 6 aspects, the 6 problems of COVID-19. Okay, let's start talk about the fake news. Fake news called the pandemic become many fake news. So why are the fake news about the pandemic that many? That is happening because of fear and the lack of knowledge people have on the topic.
So hello, I'm Sarah. Well, today I'm not Sarah. Today I'm Ramonica Hart. And I'm going to talk about the variants of the coronavirus, since I am a very famous Spanish scientist. Here we have some examples of variants. We have alpha, beta, gamma, delta. You probably know them. And now I will ask you to play a little game just to make sure you did understand it. So it is the perfect form. For those people who don't know that, it's a game where you have to say a sentence. So the first sentence and the final sentence is not the same. So I would like to ask the teachers to play this game. So
just we can play it with all of you. It's a little bit different. It's also called Chinese whispers, we also call it. It's much more clever than you got. This is what we're playing.
Excuse me, it's alright if you sit in that room behind the class.
That wasn't a sentence, so Mr. Ballard, can you say?
So the first sentence was, excuse me, the fact is that just before I ate an almond.
As you can see, teachers are not perfect. Me neither. And the viruses are not perfect, so that's why in training we cannot avoid new viruses.
So I'm going to talk about the sedentary lifestyle during the quarantine. During the quarantine, as you all know, and I think that's common to most of you, people develop a sedentary lifestyle, and this can lead to serious health problems, especially metabolic. And moreover, it can harm the immune system, so we will be more vulnerable to a virus. And this was its problem, the monotony, caused by many rules due to the crisis, which was Nadine's work. So I would like you all to clap a little bit for her, because she was her work was that due to the poverty, life started to be a monotony, and this can lead to mental health problems such as depression. Okay, now we're going to talk about the solutions to these problems.
Okay, the solutions for the problem, to the problem 1, is create an official app. In this app, the scientists can put the information, the discoveries that lead of the COVID.
The art team. My name is Iris, and before we start, I wanted to summarize what we're going to talk about. In the first presentation, we're going to talk about we're each going to talk about one of our famous national artists and their pieces, and we're going to also compare them to each other to see the differences in creativity that can be found in people. Hello everyone, I'm Maria. And I'm going to talk about Diego Rodríguez de Silva y Velázquez, which is a very important Spanish painter.
Here we can see him. He was a Spanish painter and the leading artist in the court of the King Philip IV of Spain and Portugal.
I will talk about George Curio. I chose him for his attack because he's attached a lot to Greek because he's born in Greece. And I think for all his life, it's a sign of destiny. He's born. He was a son of an Italian railway engineer, and that is always considered his birth in Greece a sign of destiny. And so for all his life, he was attached to classical art and Greek mythology.
So, I chose Constantin Brâncuș. The two before were painters, and he's very different because he's a sculptor. And his work is much simpler than the other two artists. For example, Diego's art was really sweet and it embodied life and emotion into it. And Giulio's art was abstract and kind of hard to understand, but at the same time very beautiful.
He was born in Greece, where he spent the first 2 years in class, and then he was visited a Greek painting school
The German students couldn't make it today, so I will be presenting their part of the project. Their artist is Ludwig van Beethoven. As you can see, the rest of us chose artists that embodied art through physical things. But the German students decided to do something different, and that's amazing.
Born in Lisboa in 1987, is an artist, and the journey artist is too.
Now that you've seen all these beautiful pieces of art created by such talented artists, we're gonna show you what we did to freestyle them. Now we're gonna start talking about Greek influences in different types of architecture around the world.
So here I'm going to talk about the Spanish architecture a little bit. So cities in Spain pose a cultural richness that translates to diverse architecture styles. So Muslim inspirations, the rise of Christian religion, and the Renaissance. So I'm going to talk about one of the most important buildings in Spain, that is La Sagrada Familia.
And it's a lot influenced by Greek architecture.
German architecture. Yeah, the German students are not here, so it's my job again. This is the subject I do not pronounce the name.
Brandenburg.
Brandenburg.
That's right.
Okay. As you can see, it has 6 big pillars and a roof. Mimicking the temples we can find in Greece, and it also has some horses and a king on the top.
I will talk about the general Italian architecture, most importantly the concept of harmony, balance and simplicity in the use of space, also the human experiences of the space in the relationship with God, also adopted economies in their structures by the Greeks, as we can see in the Colosseum.
Art and society in general. In this context, we'll study the interaction of European languages through the use of language zones. So as you can see, this is the origin of some English words. It is 29% Latin, 4% from other proper names, 6% from unknown and other, 6% from Greek, 26% from German. Sciences and technology, the figure raises over 90%. About 10% of the Latin vocabulary has found its way directly into English without.
First of all, a dictionary with words from three aspects: medicine, psychology, and philosophy. But first of all, we need to show you a presentation about what these three aspects talk about, and also about some other stuff that you're going to see during the presentation.
The English to the English language fought with the Latin-speaking Roman Empire. In that time, Christian missionaries brought with them religious Latin words, and monks that usually wrote down copied texts in Latin when they occasionally
talk about actually, because we know sometimes to be, kind of in the sense. So first of all, psychology. Psychology is the science of the soul, of human behavior. So this psychology is the study of mental functions and processes of inner and subjective experience.
Words in every single language we have here. The first one is spinach, with in English is spinach, in Spanish is espinacas, Italian spinaci, Romanian spanac, and Portuguese espinafre. In Greek, honestly, I don't know how to pronounce that.
Spanati.
Spanaki. Thank you very much. And now, madre, which is in English. Mutter, which is in German. Madre in Italian. Madre also in Spanish. Mama in Romanian. And Mai in Portuguese. In Greek, I think it's children speak the truth, the apple will fall under the apple tree. Whatever is good to know is difficult to learn. Either dance band or pick the bathroom. He will laugh not in the morning, he laughs not at night. He will become a sheep visited by the wolves. An open enemy better than a false friend. Life is short, the art is long, and the art of being a slave is the rule one's masters.
I assume most of you understand the proverbs. Maybe I can explain like one or two. So how you make your bed is how you're going to sleep, is what we say, optimus ex fees, it's the translation in Greek. And maybe we can also explain he who laughs not in the morning, laughs at noon. It's mostly you like to make it up because you like it.
Now I will say any Latin proverbs. I don't speak Latin, but I can try. El diablo quiere means where God is a church, the devil will act as a chapel. Is out of sight, out of mind. This Chinese Mandarin. Almost all of the world can speak more than one language. The world alphabet is derived from.
Perseus is one of our mythological heroes, Greek heroes, and you might know him because he was in the story of
snakes for her, and she petrified whoever looked at her. So.
Hi, I'm Luca. I'm from Romania, and I'm going to play Count Dracula. As we know, Count Dracula was a vampire. He is inspired by one of our country's kings. His name is Vlad the Impaler. And the characteristics of a vampire are that they beat their victims' necks and drown them out of blood. And they basically burn out when sunlight hits them. You may know some TV series about vampires, like The Vampire Diaries or something like that. So I think most of you know vampire characteristics.
I'm Matilde from Portugal, and the character I will be playing is Cadetus from the north of Portugal. It's a traditional from Cadence, which is a village there. They have colorful costumes, just as they mess, especially with girls. And I think it's that.
Well, I'm Carmen from Spain, and I'm Arachne. That was a woman that the god transformed into spider.
Welcome to the city of Calora.
I'm Romulus.
And I am Remus.
We are the kings of Calora town, and today we will be narrating the beginning of our cinema. A long time ago, a vampire called Count Dracula kept on terrorizing the people who lived in the lanes of Calora.
A poor boy named Perseus had his parents killed by Count Dracula when he was just 7 years old. So at the age of 16, he decided that he had enough of the vampire and decided to put an end to his domination.
Do this anymore, right? We're gonna kill him. What's your plan? Well, I've heard about a witch who will cut it fighting my promise. I don't think you will succeed. He's too strong.
Of course I will help you. I'll make a strong sword so you can kill Dracula. Thank you.